Welcome to today's video. I'm Gary Wariawan and today we're here to do another everyday photography challenge. You can check out the other vlogs right here, but today I'm in a very special place. This is Candi Prambanan or Prambanan Temple in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. This is one of the heritage here in Yogyakarta. I think this is one of the sites that you should visit if you are going to Yogyakarta. It's such a nice temple. It has lots of cultural significance and history as well in this area, and definitely a must visit. So today I'm here to do a photography session here. I'm bringing a lot more gear than my usual everyday photography challenge. I will talk about the gear a little bit later, but yeah, I'm thinking of taking pictures of the Prambanan Temple, and also nearby right here, as you can see right there, there are some pink structure right there. It's an exhibition, so I want to try to capture that as well. I think it looks kind of cool, and yeah, it's just such a nice day today with the weather being really nice, all sunny, blue sky and whatnot. It's just so beautiful. So now let's talk a little bit about the gear. So the camera gear today, I'm bringing with me my Billingham Hadley small bag. As I mentioned earlier, I bring a lot more gear than my usual everyday photography challenge. I brought two cameras. One is the Panasonic G85 and the other one is the GX85. With the G85, I'm bringing my 8 to 18mm wide angle lens. It's been very useful in the past, and today I'm quite sure it will be very useful for capturing a wide angle scene of both the pink structure and also the Prambanan Temple. And then the other one is the 35 to 100mm attached to my GX85, my favorite telephoto lens. I'm quite sure I will use this lens also a few times today for capturing details and close-up and whatnot, things like that. Alright, and also my vlogging camera that's recording this video right now, the DJI Pocket 2. Now that we've talked about the gear situation, now let's try to take some photographs in the Prambanan Temple area and also on the pink structure exhibition. Anyway, the point of why I'm doing this vlog is to inspire you to go out and do photography as well. I don't want to just talk about gear, about camera and lenses on my channel. I want to also use them and go out in the field, and today is one of those days. Alright, let's take some pictures. Alright, so we're going to try to take a picture of the Prambanan Temple right here. I think it looks really beautiful right now with the blue sky. Don't really have that much foreground right now, so I'm going to zoom to 18mm and just try to focus at the temples right there. So 8 to 18mm f5.6. Let's try to capture the picture. There's not much foreground as I mentioned earlier. Oh, I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. I'm trying to avoid a lot of stuff. We have this barbed wire fence and also the stones and this lamppost right here, which is very distracting. So I'm trying my best to not include those things. And maybe later I will crop the image as well. We'll see, something like this. I'm using my G85 right now for this particular lens because it just feels more balanced rather than using my usual GX85. I'm zooming out a little bit to about 16mm. Let's try again. Alright, this looks nice. Alright, so I'm switching to the 35 to 100mm lens right now. I'm at 35mm with the GX85. I'm trying to just focus on the temples, getting a more close-up kind of shot. So this is the composition that I was thinking. Just the temples, no foreground, nothing whatsoever. So it's just a very simple composition. By the way, if you guys are in Yogyakarta, you should really visit Prambanan Temple. These temples are really close to the city center of Yogyakarta. It's just about 15 minutes drive or 30 minutes drive depending on the traffic. So yeah, by the way, this is a very simple composition. Let's try vertical. I'm going to focus on just 3 of the temples right there at 35mm. Nothing really complicated, not much foreground, not a lot of the blue sky either. And I'm going to try to zoom in at just one of the temple. Let's zoom to about, this is about 50 to 60mm. I'm not really quite sure, but this is the composition that I was thinking about, focusing on only one of the temples. I really like the texture of the particular temple. We have lots of, kind of textures and stone carvings and whatnot on the temple, which is of cultural significance. So yeah, something like this. Alright, so I'm trying to get another photo of this particular pink statue right here. So I'm going to go really close, and I'm trying to just capture this pink structure again with the 8 to 18 millimeter f2.8. I'm at f2.8 right now. I'm trying to just capture everything on a single frame. This is what I'm doing right now. Let's stop down to f4, something like this. All right, I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. I just like the symmetry of it. I like everything that's in order and in symmetry, everything geometrical, lots of leading lines. All right, so I'm trying to capture another portrait of my wife right in the middle here, as the same spot as before. I'm trying to go very low and just try to point the camera at her to get this dramatic angle. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. One more. I'm gonna take a few different poses and choose the best one later. All right, let's try horizontal. 1, 2, 3. All right, everything is at 8 millimeter f2.8 to get a little bit of background blur, just a tiny bit, not that much, because I want still lots of details on the background as well. A few more pictures. All right, last one. All right, we're still at the pink structure right now, and I'm trying to capture a little bit of details from the pink structure and trying to just point out at some specific areas rather than taking a wide angle picture. So first I want to try to capture these hands right there. I want to try to get the shape, the lines and everything. So with the 35 to 100 and the GX85, I think I can do that easily. So let's try to capture it. This is 35 millimeter. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. Something like this. This is f4. Or maybe I will stop it down to f5.6. Let's try. f5.6, just the hands. And I'm trying to capture the legs right there. I don't know if you can see or not. All right, this is about 50. This is about 50 millimeter. And let's try to zoom in a little bit to about 60 millimeter, something like this. Lots of lines, not a lot of texture, but I really like the geometry of this kind of stuff. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. So it's just about picking the composition with, interesting lines, stuff like that. All right, so I'm going closer to the actual Prambanan Temple area right here, and no, I'm not really close to the pink structure anymore, so I'm just trying to focus on the Prambanan Temple. Again, this is a must visit when you are in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. This is one of the world's heritage, I'm quite sure. We have another famous temple called Borobudur, but it's not in Yogyakarta. It's close. It's about 1 hour drive from Yogyakarta, but technically it's not in Yogyakarta. So for Yogyakarta, this is the one that you should visit, Prambanan Temple. I really urge you all to go here. So anyway, I'm going to try to take a picture of this temple area right here, all of the buildings right there. I'm zooming to about 14 millimeter using the 8 to 18 millimeter with the G85 aperture priority. I'm setting my aperture to f5.6 right now. The composition that I was thinking is just a very simple panoramic kind of landscape picture right here. So maybe I will zoom slightly closer than 14 millimeter, something like this. This is the composition that I was thinking about, focusing right in the middle of one of the temples and adding a little bit of the rocks area right here as a foreground. Let's try again. f5.6, 15 millimeter aperture priority. I'm keeping everything else automatic. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. All right, things look good currently. There are lots of people. I'm going to try to do a vertical composition, my favorite. Maybe adding a little bit of these rocks. I'm not quite sure, but let's try anyway. If it doesn't work, then yeah, I'll just scrape the picture and not show it on the vlog. Something like this. Or maybe I can tilt the camera a little bit to get more of the sky. Something like this. Yeah, it looks kind of cool, but I still prefer the horizontal composition. 14 millimeter again. Something like this. Let's try to zoom in a little bit to about 15 again, just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, I really love all of the textures. The light is just perfect. It's hitting from the right of the frame, so we have that side light going on, and we can see all the details on the temple, on the rocks, all the carvings and whatnot. It just looks really good. All right, And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for today's video. I hope that today's vlog is inspiring, is useful for you, makes you want to go out and try to photograph something as well today, and just inspire you to not just talk about gear and think about gear all the time, but also think about what you want to create today. Take some pictures, go out and shoot some video, things like that. Create something. That's always the point of why I'm making these vlogs. Please let me know what do you think of today's video in the comment down below. If you have any questions, you can also comment down below as well. And I also want to know what have you been photographing lately. Please also share down below. Also, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing to my channel down below. Thank you and see you on the next video. Goodbye.